That's it. We're gonna do it.
Gonna do it. Yeah, another minute.
Yeah.
Here, and I got my watch here. We have
I got mine too, but you know, with what 10 minutes warning is good, so we can manage from there.
We'll manage, yeah.
Yep. Yep. You look really nice.
Oh, thank you. Every now and then I can make a bit of an effort.
Yep.
So do you. I like your location.
Nobody know, you're the only one.
Okay, so shall we start? I think we can start. Hi, everyone who's joined us. It's exciting to be giving this talk about a project that Junhua and I have been working on for the last 4 years, approximately. Sunday afternoons, that's what we do with our Sundays. You may wonder, is everything, anything to be worried about us? But Sundays, we have this Selective Mutism in China project. It's been so exciting because it's really been able to give access to people in China about treating selective mutism, awareness for selective mutism. So we only have a short time, and I hope we're going to give you a general picture of what we've been doing and how it's been developing and where we want to go from here. So I'll just say a few words about myself, that I'm a psychologist. I started off in England, moved on to live in Argentina. Now I'm based in Israel. I began because my son had selective mutism, and I was a young psychologist many decades ago. And at that point, it wasn't a diagnosis. It wasn't recognized, really. And so he was misdiagnosed, about to be mistreated, and I stepped in and started treating him. And that was the beginning, really, of my life's work, treating selective mutism. Many years I ran a municipal clinic in Jerusalem, and now I run a private clinic with many trained therapists who work according to my treatment method, which is home and school treatment, which I'd love to talk about another year. And there have been publications. My book's been translated into several languages, a few more on the way. And then started to put together some internet courses, which actually is the precursor really for our China work. A parents internet course, therapist internet course, and then I did 10 sessions guidance globally, only a few at any given time. And then we moved to this incredible project of 10 sessions guidance with a parent coach and a WeChat group with Junhua in China. I just want to say before we dive in, that what's thrilling for me about telling our story is that I feel it can really be replicated. It is a model that can, I'm sure, can be improved, but it can be replicated so that wherever people are, they can get expert, appropriate help. And you know, we've had a fantastic response to intervention. Children, teens, their lives have really been so improved by this short-term, limited intervention. So all will be revealed soon. June.
Hi, everyone. I'm Junhua Reitman. Thank you for listening to our presentation, Treating Selective Mutism in China. Thank you, Ruth, for the beautiful introduction. Thank you, Ruth, for the hard work in the past 4 years. I'm the president of Selective Mutism Association in China. I'm the director of Soundly-Minded Selective Mutism Center in China. I'm the co-author of the 2 forthcoming books. The one is Maggie Johnson called The Selective Mutism Workbook for Parents and Professionals, Small Step, Big Changes. Another one is illustration book with my daughter, Amelia. The book name is Supporting Your Children with Selective Mutism, the practical guide for school, home, and in the community. Both books will be published next year, in the middle of next year. So all about I'm proud to say I'm the mother of the children who has overcome selective mutism. My daughter Amelia gonna have presentation in the afternoon in the Hear Our Voice panel. So she, yes, very proud of her. So she joined the Selective Mutism Association as volunteer group for years. So from the children with selective mutism, now she's contributed her experience, her knowledge, her encouragement. She even working with me on the two books, the workbook and the parent's guide. I have to say this way, as the mother, I think I do a lot, but I look at what my daughter achieved. I have to say everyone in our life, thank you. Thank you, therapists, teacher, parents, neighbors, anyone on the strangers. Thank you for everyone. Bruce.
So we're going to give a little outline of what this intervention in China involved, and then we're going to dive deep into 2 case studies, and then we're going to go back to the micro of what our premises were, what our foci were. So just to give a general picture before as we start. Initially, Junhua and Yvonne and many other parents of children with selective mutism had developed a WeChat group where there was peer support. WeChat is kind of a WhatsApp in China, and it has currently, I think, 900 participants, very vibrant, very interesting, and you know, peer support is fantastic. And then they approached me to translate the book, so my book. So there's the WeChat peer support group. Then there is the book. People are on this WeChat book, support group. And then if they want more information, they can acquire my book. They can acquire Maggie Johnson's book and Vera Jaffe's book, all of which have been translated by Junhua and her colleagues. And so that's already giving a lot of support, a lot of knowledge, a lot of awareness, which was unheard of, I think, 10 years ago in China. And so that's really, really exciting that we are helping that awareness and understanding. But then, and then there's also a 9 Sessions Parents online course of mine that Junhua and her colleagues translated, and that is also given to the participants of this WeChat group if they want to see that and to get more information. But then very often parents are stuck, and it's really hard as a parent to put all of this knowledge into practice, particularly when teachers are not that willing to hear from parents who they might consider to be overprotective. Or, you know, I was there, and Juno, I think you were there too. And so then we do offer, on the basis of all of this information and the WeChat peer support, 10 sessions guidance. And in these 10 sessions guidance, what we are trying to do is empower, teach, guide, therapeutic agents of change, that these are the parents first and foremost, the teachers, key workers, sometimes therapists, sometimes grandparents, anybody, any significant adult in the child's life to be a therapeutic agent of change. And we try very hard to, in every one of those 10 sessions, our time is so short. So I think the main thing that we need to be is very concentrated and focused in each of these sessions in order to construct interventions based on an understanding of how, how these children are, to have interventions for parents, for teachers, for key workers, for them to implement over the upcoming month before they have their next session of guidance with us. And that is where the parents coach comes into her own. This is Junhua and her colleagues of supporting the parents during this time, working out how they can implement whatever interventions we've considered. And then they come to the next session really ready and having tried whatever interventions we have put together. And I will just say that before they come to the 10 sessions, they fill out forms, they send videos, and fill out forms before each of the 10 sessions, so that we come ready. We also do our homework and really focus on what has been happening since our last session, so that we are ready to make full use of the upcoming session. So let's just dive deep into two cases to give you a feeling of what it is. So, of course, these are not the real names, and all the details have been slightly changed. But let's take Mei Jing, who is a 5-year-old girl in Beijing. And she had her 10 sessions. I'm just going to give you a general picture of what was going on with her. Obviously, we get the videos, we at home, in school, we get all of the forms, background, general functioning, and then we meet the parents. And in this case, it was mostly the mum. And this is a 5-year-old girl who was diagnosed with Asperger's, ADHD, OCD. And in the first session, when we got the background about Mei Jing from the mum, she was kind of uncontrollable, no boundaries. The mum felt that she just didn't understand how other people think, hitting parents, hitting friends, and really no talking at all, screaming, screeching. Only had one friend, but with that one friend, she didn't talk either. So she didn't talk to anyone outside her nuclear family. So the first session, we got the background, we built rapport with the mum, and we already started working on boundaries. The second session, a month later, we worked a bit more on interventions for parents. We liked to have the teacher already in on the second session, but we couldn't quite manage that and persuade the teacher to come. But we were working on building the building blocks of the exposure stepladder, both for the parents at home with friends and later on to give to the teacher in order for him or her to be able to implement whenever we were to meet him. And so that was games that include speech that could be played when friends are nearby or in the park, recordings from home to send to relatives, but also hopefully to use later on with the teacher, and a lot of work on boundaries and explaining the importance of boundaries. Third session was meeting with a teacher, that we managed to get this meeting with a teacher. I know that there's a lot of work behind the scenes to get these meetings with the teachers, who described her as very anxious, frozen, and non-communicative, and really off the beaten path of children in school. And so we built for him what we call a 4-week plan. That's one of the standard basic constructs of working with the teachers. I'll go into that a bit more in detail soon. And which started off with listening to recordings every day, listening to recordings of Mei Jing every day. Of course, it didn't happen every day, but that's what we tried to push. And lowering her anxiety level with very, very concrete tasks to be implemented, as well as tasks for the parents to invite friends home, to go out to the park, etc. Sessions 4 and 5 were the ups and downs of exposure, mainly in school, but also at home, working out with the teacher how to help her open up with a teacher, how to include friends at home. Sessions 6 and 7 were COVID, and COVID is not always has caused so much difficulty, apart from the physical difficulty that people who suffered from COVID, but taking kids out of their school environment. But for her, for Mei Jing and for many other children, I think there was a lot of good in that COVID period, because she did open up a bit with on-school learning, opening up over WeChat with teachers and friends, with the camera off, making sounds. Session 8 we came back to real face-to-face schooling, and she began talking to a couple of friends in COVID, and we did more sliding in with 2 more friends, online talking to teachers and guidance regarding their exposure. Session 9, we had already, Mei Jing had started a new school, and we had spoken to the teacher beforehand who already implemented some of that exposure right from the word go. And Mei Jing started off brilliantly, talking to 2 kids, talking a bit to the teacher, and we just leveraged that to make her as much exposure as possible from the teacher, from the parents, play dates. Session 10 was basically champagne. She was talking to all of the children. She was talking to, not always initiating, there was still some more work to be done, which I think since then has been done thanks to the parents group and thanks to the parents coach. But she said to us, I just need kind, gentle teachers, then I can open up. And I feel that we kind of help the teachers become a bit more kind and gentle and understanding. And, you know, the cherry on the cake was she was elected to represent her class at the end of our 10 sessions. So this is just an example of one case. Mei Jing, she had left her Asperger's diagnosis. Her OCD was vastly improved. She had far more sustainable boundaries, and she was a student, and she was doing well academically and socially. That's Mei Jing. June.
It's a beautiful story. Ruth, thank you for sharing that. I will present a story with the girl's name Ruoxi. She's a 7 years old girl with selective mutism since she was 3 years old. In school, she did not go to the bathroom, do not eat, do not do any schoolwork, do not participate in any school activity. She's sitting on her chair without moving. So had no friend, of course. 2 things we're working with her right in the beginning. Number 1 is she wear a diaper. We find out very surprising with 7 years old. So we ask parents, talk to school, get a permission, use the teacher's bathroom so she can use the bathroom by herself. Don't go to the bathroom right there. The 1 diaper removed, she's happier, she's starting to move around in the classroom. The second suggestion is because parents couldn't go to school and the teacher is more busy. So what we suggest, she go to the lunch program, host outside the organization. So parents can be volunteer in that, mop the table, clean the floor, set up the chair, and sitting with her as talking bridge. Apply the strategy, the activity rules, and we gave to her during the consultation. Magic happened. In a month, she's starting to have 1 talking friend. This talking friend as a bridge connected her other classmate. So in the 9th session, less than a year, they finished 9th session, they skipped 10. So basically, the girl come to in front of the mirror, speak Chinese, of course, big happy smile, talking to us, teach Ruth Chinese, and I'll be the translator. And I look at her, I said, can I believe that's the girl is no moving, no any sound. Now she's a big, happy little girl with a voice back, very proud of her and her mother.
I think usually we are very proud of the children, their parents, grandparents, and teachers. That is the recipe for success. Which we don't always have, all of that, but we can often manage with less than full support from the school, I would say. We'd hoped, one of the things that is so fantastic about our work is that I really feel we're raising awareness in a place where there wasn't awareness, there wasn't understanding, particularly for this acting in as opposed to acting out condition, where they're not screaming, they're not necessarily, usually not disruptive, and they are just transparent. And about a year ago, I think, this documentary team contacted Junwan and suggested following one or two of the children we were treating. It's been a fantastic treatment, and this child also, who we won't go into it now, but is doing so well. And this should come out end of 2022. We wanted to show a little snippet, but we didn't get all of the permissions in time. But this, I think, will just have an explosion of awareness and understanding, and seeing how a child can go with all of this integrative support, integrative outlook of treatment, can be helped so significantly. And I think that will be very, very encouraging for teachers also to be part of this, and for parents to come and get help, and hopefully for therapists to train. So what was previously in China? You know, a growing mental health awareness, but not enough, particularly within the school setting. The schools are for studying and not necessarily for helping children overcome mental health difficulties. Big classes compared to many places in the world, often around 45 children with one teacher. No real selective mutism treatment. I think SAN treatment is still the treatment of choice for selective mutism, which is not usually very effective. One thing that was very good for us is that I think on the whole, the Chinese are very wired to WeChat and to internet, and are very used to communicating over the internet, and that was obviously useful for us. So the initial steps were, as I said, the translation of my book, of other books, and of the online courses. And then just before COVID, my kids joke that I brought COVID to Israel. Hopefully that's not true. But really, it was just before COVID. It was the end of December 2019. We made a trip to China to train therapists in an attempt to set up a local mental health center. Had a TEDx talk there, and lots of newspaper articles to raise awareness. Really exciting, so much local interest. And then we had COVID. So then we went back to online work, and, you know, it would be absolutely fantastic. We would be able to go back to that. June, this is for you.
When parents joined the WeChat group, I introduced the book we translate. And also we introduced the online resource, like video, the courses, the rules courses, and other videos, and in the selectmutism.org.cn. One message I want to deliver: be your children's advocate. Parents can do so much for your children. You have therapists help, great. You have teacher help, great. If you have nothing, you still can do something. So thinking outside the box, be creative. That's the message we deliver to the parents who is in the group. In this slide, this is a illustration book supporting your children with selective mutism, a practical guide for school, home, and community. This is the first thing we talk to the parents. In the first stop, so if we consider that overcome SMA is a journey, then this journey started point one will be the parents and the family involved in the school, home, and the community. The second stop is teacher and therapy supporting the school, home, and the community. We do invite the teacher go to home visit. Is that easy? No. Is that someone do it? Of course. 50% teacher gonna do it. If we don't ask, it's 0%. So keep asking. You know what is the best for your children. Trust yourself, trust the expert, get the idea, buy the book, share with teacher. It's step one your parents can do. The third point, the classmate to build a body system, have a talking friend, have a whisper friend. They can help children in the school right away. Go to the bathroom, go eat, recess time, include your friend, you know, submit the homework. Those are the starting point for children can move around, can start talking. The fourth point, the friend and build a friendship, talking outside the school. Children need people talk to build a social skill. So before, classmate probably didn't know much, but you have neighbors, you have relatives, you have friends. They are the person who you can support. The last point is someone you already know or someone you don't know. Anyone in your life, that's the person you can ask for help. Even they don't know, they help you. You go to same cashier, you go to same restaurant, those people can help you. There's a word phrase called raise your children need a village. Raise a selective mute children maybe need a 2 village, 3 village. Parents need to move, action, and make things done. Thank you.
So we built awareness and understanding of tools and strategy and the integrative interventions. Parents, therapists, usually no therapists, usually key workers and teachers. But it was very, very hard for parents to carry through because it was so hard to persuade the schools about how important the intervention was. So what are the tenets of the 10-session format? Well, you know, there's a lot of evidence-based, not a lot, but there is good evidence-based of the home, school, interventions at home, interventions at school. The Bergman book, Lindsay Bergman, her 20 sessions over, I think, 24 weeks, and Obeck and Christensen, the home school. So I actually, I would love to present data on this, about this long distance intervention. That would be really wonderful if we could do that. But what is common to, I think, really pretty much everybody who works, all the professionals here, is that we're aiming for step-by-step change. We're aiming to raise the comfort zone of the edge of the comfort zone of the child and going further and further without too much pressure, maintaining anxiety at a reasonable level so that there will be change. I think the fact that we had these 10 sessions made us very focused on that, on what else could be done. Again, being careful not to raise the anxiety level of the children too much, and of the parents. Although Junwa doesn't mind raising the anxiety level of the parents.
I'm next to kids. Parents, they can put pressure.
Tough love coach sometimes. So it's based on CBT, more behavioral with younger kids, more cognitive with older kids, but the backbone is always behavioral. It's the step-by-step exposure moving forward. And as I said, integrative with key workers, teachers, parents, and a really good response to intervention. So what were some challenges? And then we will go into what did we actually guide the parents and what did we guide the teachers. Of course, it's a little bit of the tip of an iceberg, but we'll give the general picture. So the challenges were empowering parents. Parents, you know, have to be so motivated and absolutely take themselves out of their comfort zone to engage teachers, to go to playgrounds and just start involving random children in their children's games. And the wonderful thing is, and I know that happened to me, certainly, treating my child and working in this field, even talking now today, is that parents grow. We saw parents growing before our eyes, and giving parents the tools and the understanding and supporting them in the interventions that they were doing. We saw not only the children, you know, opening up their petals and, you know, just blooming, but we also saw parents, and there is nothing as satisfying as for parents as seeing them, their children, what they are doing to be helping their children. So involving teachers is a challenge. It's still a challenge. We beg a lot of the time for teachers to come to one session, and then in that one session we try and just, you know, get them gung-ho into helping. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We have the language barrier that Junwa had to translate me. Usually, in a few cases, there were English schools and people did understand. But we did learn a little bit to read each other's minds because we are going through the same steps again and again. COVID put a stop to even today we had a client who's just come out of lockdown, another lockdown. I think there's still a zero COVID policy in many places in China, and so there are still lockdowns. And even though, as I said, sometimes the online work can be very positive, but a bit too much of a good thing. Big classes, the lack of understanding of the special needs. I think we've already said this, how the China project was conceived. So let's move on to this. What were the foci in the 10 sessions? So firstly, forms, filling out forms and sending videos. We get lots and lots of information. It's the good preparation for each session in order to be prepared to understand, are there comorbid issues? The videos are really important to see what kind of interaction the child is having with his parents, and how he's behaving outside the house. Then we initially try to understand the current situation. And in every session, based on the forms and the videos and the meeting with the parents, we're trying to work out, how is the child doing now emotionally and in terms of functioning at home and outside and in school. We try and get the perspective of parents and teachers as much as possible. They're two different perspectives and both are important. We are very, very focused on the interventions that parents and teachers do in the interim between sessions. And our aim is to end the session, each session, with an understanding of what interventions could move the child forward with, at the periphery of his comfort zone, maintaining a level of anxiety that's manageable, but will move him forward. Aiming to bridge the homeschool abyss, parents volunteering in the school, teachers coming home. Those are two strategies. Often we have a key worker. Grandparents are very involved often in raising the children and the grandchildren, so they can often be the key worker. Occasionally we have therapists. And as I said, in between the sessions, support from the parents coach and the parents WeChat group. A few premises for parents that I will describe, and this is true whether you have face-to-face or long distance, but respect for the comfort zone of the child. The small steps approach, the great patience, frequent intervention. We want daily interventions whenever possible, without driving the parents mad and without driving the children mad, of course. Fun, have it empowering, have activities that are both exposure and are fun, thinking of what can be done to diminish the anxiety level of the child, perhaps not talking too much about the selective mutism, but doing the physical activity, considering the whole picture, the predisposing and maintaining factors, but also anything comorbid, any language difficulties. Sometimes rewards are in place, and of course, including staff. June.
Thank you, Ruth. Amazing how the information you shared is very nice. Thank you. So guidance of the parents by the parents coach. This section is from the book Selective Mutism Workbook for Parents and the Professionals, Small Step, Big Changes. So there's just 8 steps we suggest here. Number 1, the parents have to understand what is SM. What kind of behavior is SM? If children roam on the floor, do anything not proper, should I talk to them? Is his SM children, but everything else you should, like Ruth mentioned, the boundary. Educate others, open up, be prepared, talk to people. You have to understand SM to be able to talk to. Sometimes I talk to people are gonna say one thing, does your children bite? Does your children do anything right? She's just quiet, she has selective mutism. say, oh yeah, no problem. I can send my children to your house to play. Educate others. Use toilet at school and other setting is always my number one talking with the parents. Solve their daily challenge first before you move on to more activity stress. So build a rapid rapport with teacher, with the classmate. Accelerate children comfort zone with a home visit. We begging, like Ruth, we really begging. We both begging the teacher do the home visit. One visit, they see the result, they come in second time. Some teachers, sometimes they spend a few hours with children. They even ask parents, can I come over? They see the result. They see the talking part happen at home. They know children better. So when they walk into school, it's so much quicker, so much easier for teacher. So support children answer the question, parents, other adult, friend, siblings. They are there support children, not answer for them. So making an action plan and stick with it and see the progress is so important. Not only you set up a plan. Two-way communication is so important for the parents and the teachers working like a team. Everybody working so hard, but they are not on the same page. So working together, communicate. All those information is for parents, and meantime, they do share the information with teacher. Teacher be happy to working with you if they saw you're the hardworking parents, you're supportive. Ruth.
Thanks, Junhua. So, we're trying to help the teachers and the parents be therapeutic agents for change. And I believe that so many of them can be. And the fact is, so many of the parents go on to be active parents in the parents group, passing that understanding on, which is fantastic. So desensitization and exposure, this ladder of steps that brings the child from silence to speech. I think we explain this in just about every session to teachers and to parents, and what is the ladder of steps that we're onto now, and how can we implement it now, and simultaneously to lower the anxiety or stimulus fading, sliding in, that the child will be talking to the mom and the teacher will come close, or another friend will come close. So I think we all know about those tools. So I'm going to talk about two kinds of parental guidance and then two things that we do for teachers. So firstly, parental guidance, building social communication, inviting friends home, that's therapy. That is therapy. If you invite a friend home and you have understanding of exposure techniques, how to play a video of your child when he has a friend home, how to help him talk to you, ask forced choice questions while the friend is home, and help him start talking to the friend at home. Meeting friends in the park, particularly now, it's not possible to go to people's homes on the whole in China. So meeting at parks, facilitating play dates using these exposure techniques, extracurricular activities, which are, every Chinese child has many extracurricular activities between 5 and 7 in the evening, from the age of 4 or 5. And they're educated, and it's impressive as well as perhaps stressful. So engaging those teachers, other parents and students, considering how to improve social skills, language skills, etc. at home, which is where the child can be helped while he's suffering from selective mutism. So the next parental guidance is for the parents to explain to the teachers what's going on with the child, how the child is at home, understanding the gap between home and school, inviting the teachers home, as Junhua just said, recording WeChats, that's like WhatsApp, and sending to teachers. That changes the teacher's expectation of the child, and that is the basis for building one of the interventions of listening together with the child to his recording, which is fantastic self-modeling, and it can be the first step of an exposure step ladder. Online communication with teachers is also great. If they can open up online on WeChat, that's with a teacher, if the child can, that's fantastic. when it's possible for the parents to come in and meet the child with the child and the teacher before, after, or during school, and doing fading in techniques. So one case that recently finished, it all happened in the 15 minutes before school, but the mum got there early, played with the child, helped to open the child up, and then one teacher came in, another teacher came in, and gradually the girl felt more and more comfortable. Guiding the teachers, firstly understanding what selective mutism is and what it isn't. It isn't being oppositional. It isn't that he can speak but chooses not to speak, he can't speak. Selling the teachers how vital their intervention is, how much they can help. And at the same time, one of the things that we have to do, and this is kind of the third and fourth, it's a little bit at loggerheads, we want them to do the intervention, but we've got to keep it concise so that they will actually do it. Because if we give them too much to do, a couple of minutes a day, because that is doable. More than that is just not doable. So we also try and explain to the teachers about lowering the anxiety of the child, home visits, building a warm relationship between the teacher and the child, utilizing any kind of communication, whether it's nodding or smiling or pointing, do's and don'ts, how to not have the child feel they're transparent, to see the child, but not to force them to do things that they are unable to do. And June, you want to describe the last point here?
Sure. For that children be the helper, teacher helper and the shadow. Quite often the teacher said, I don't have time, I don't understand, I don't want to scare her. One thing we said, let her be your helper, be your shadow, follow you around. And helping the teacher with the classroom setting, order the lunch, clean the desk, and collect the homework. All those work provided the talking opportunity for children and helping the children gain the confidence. And when their classmates come to us, I'm going to change my lunch order, give me the homework, I already collect the homework. What happened to my homework? That's the part the teacher said, oh, that's the easy part. Only with the same pace with us, and magic happen.
I want to just go briefly over this 4-week intervention. Be happy, actually, I didn't put it on the I didn't put the information on the materials, but I'd be happy to send it to anybody who would like it. This is really one of the main things that we talk about to every teacher, this 4-week plan, 4 weeks, 2 minutes a day, which might turn out to be 4 weeks, 2 minutes, 3 times a week, and that's still good. Week 1, and this is a kind of classic exposure schedule. I'm sure lots of you are doing similar things. The parents send a lot of videos, and the first week the teacher listens with the child to the videos and has that self-modeling and yes, no responses from the child if the child is able to do that. Of course, in a private place, you have to explain to the teacher how to do it so it won't be too anxiety provoking, and to pay attention to his response. Week 2, listen to the videos, yes, no responses and enforced choice questions. Week 3, listening to videos, yes, no responses, forced choice, and a brief game. And week 4, listening to the videos, yes, no responses, forced choice, a brief game, perhaps add a friend. Of course, these are just titles. There's much more that we explain. You need to, it often comes to a dead end, and then you need to perhaps do a home visit to help the child open up, or do it in a more private place, or maybe meet the mum or the dad outside school and do a couple of sessions there with the forced choice questions. But it has brought just fantastic results. And this, I think, is an example of an intervention for teachers that is very geared to change, and it's very effective often, but it doesn't require a lot, both in thought and in actually doing the intervention. When there are teens or preteens, I can see we're reaching the end of our time, so I'm just going to do this really quickly. As all of you know, I'm sure, when it comes to teens or preteens, it becomes much more C of the CBT. They're more cognitive tools, but again, our time is short. So we do often involve the teen or preteen in building the step ladder and in implementing the step ladder, but working with a teacher, so the teacher knows that, yeah, the teen is going to bring a recording of her reading, or whatever has been planned, so that it will be in conjunction with the teacher and the parents. Some cognitive and relaxation tools briefly. Sometimes I'll give them information that the parents can work through with the children. Junhua has translated a lot of cognitive tools also. One is like hand on the heart. Remember when you felt brave, when you did something brave, retain that feeling. And that's how you're going to feel when you play the recording to the teacher. Here we have an example, which I'm not going to go through, but you can have a look at afterwards, of an example of we were working with a teenager very behaviorally with a teacher and parents. And then when we included him in building this together with us, it was just incredible. And I think that all of that behavioral work that we did beforehand and the teacher's understanding, it certainly built the ground for the child himself, to the teen himself to join in. And that was really a very, very exciting treatment. Pitfalls. It's hard to get the cooperation of teachers. I saw one of the questions, great questions. We will talk about how we do that. I don't know, we pray, I think. No, we do have some ways that we do it. Huge pressure and anxiety of parents. That is something that I think the parent coach, and it is fantastic to just, okay, let's go with this process. We believe in it. It's going to help. We really think it will. And just to be able to lower the anxiety of the parents, which of course filters through to the children. The huge academic demands of kids in China does not, you can be in school from a very young age till 4 o'clock and then 3 more hours of extracurricular activity. And the stakes are very, very high, very high. Of course, always the parents just desperately want to help, and so do we. Shining lights. Anyone, anywhere has access to guidance, and that is just so exciting. Especially as there's a great response to intervention. I feel it empowers the parents. It educates and impacts schools. I know it's just a kind of drop in the ocean, but I feel that the schools kind of awake to what they could be doing, not just reading, writing, arithmetic, but they could be helping a child be himself. And that's, that I think is working with teachers who have come to this awareness is amazing. And now finally, where to go from here? Of course, we've been working one-on-one and also with this huge group, but this is a limited commodity, and we want to scale this and help local therapists. June, over to you for our dreams.
So this is our plan. I know we see the hope, we take action. So the action one is what we currently do is with Ruth as SM expert, with me parents coaching and experienced SM parents. So they have first-hand experience. The second format is local therapists get together in the Sunny Mind ED, 晴心咨询 center. So they are able to helping children and the family in school, at home, in the community, in person. And of course, the parents coach always be in the picture. The last one will be online teaching, coaching the parents, coaching the therapists, hoping more people join us. I'm the mother of the children who have selective mutism, and the Ruth too, so we can be who we are today. A lot of parents get encouragement. They can step forward to helping us too. Okay, Ruth.
So it's been such a pleasure and an honor, and thank you for allowing us to be here, and we'll be happy to, I saw there's some really good questions. Be happy to take some of the questions. And, you know, I think this is, it's just so exciting to reach areas where selective mutism awareness has been low, and to help that awareness and help mental health needs become more understood. So, Steve, shall we just take some of the questions?
Yes, why don't you start with Pepe's question about engaging teachers?
Ah, that is a hard one. We beg, we beg. No, we try very hard to find someone in the school. It's not always the classroom teacher. Today we had a meeting with somebody who is a teacher of a certain, I don't really remember what she teaches, but she's a kind of teacher's assistant, and we'll be working with her. So firstly, we try and find who is available, who has a chance of meeting us, and we work with what is. But I think when we actually have the meeting with a teacher, we stress how much the teacher can help, and how this can be a really satisfying experience for the teacher, as well as as helping the child. But this is a whole different plane of the teacher's experience. We've had quite a lot of success with teachers. We've had some teachers who've been remarkable. We try to send information, to give information, to include them for the whole session if they want, or for 10 minutes if they want. Whatever they can give us, we'll take, and try to give very, very doable and kind of discreet in terms of not being too overwhelming, you know, something that the teacher can't do, but like 2 minutes a day, or 2 minutes 3 times a week. Or, you know, Journal has all of these excellent ideas, like what time do you walk into the school if a teacher has no time? So let the parent and the child walk into the school, you know, meet you at your bus stop and walk with you, and then we're going to do exposure at that point. Very often I find that once they get a little bit of a taste of how they can be helpful, it's a fantastic feeling, and then they're more willing. June, do you have something?
Yes, Ruth, you're the best beggar in the whole world to invite the teacher in. I normally talk to parents 3 steps to invite a teacher. Number 1, write a letter, 1 page, not more than 1 page. What is SM? What is the treatment? Working with us, what is 10 sessions, 5 minutes a day, 3 minutes a day? That's to the school principal, district manager. Step 1. Step 2, show the teacher the book, Ruth's book, Maggie's book. That's the book we translate. When the moment they get a book, they look at it, so, wow, it's something here that children is not able to speak. It's not her decision. They want to help you. Anyone who be teacher, I trust them. I know they are willing to be helping children. They just don't know. They don't want to get scared to do something wrong. So I start giving them a book. The step 3 is very important. If you're busy, can I come in early, in the between and the end? All the parents, I tell all the parents, join the school parent-teacher association, be the volunteer, helping the school clean up, helping to fix the desk, helping them open the door. Put the parent food in the school, not think about helping your children. Once they know the parents are so lovely, they are so nice to contribute to school, they're willing to help you. That moment, things change. Not always ask helping, offer something you can to helping the school, helping the teacher. That's most of my parents is volunteers in the school. That's my advice, to invite the teacher outside the home too.
Yeah, and I think we do try to convey to them the magic, the incredible professional and personal satisfaction that they will get by doing this. and that it doesn't require too much of them. So thanks, Junwa. I want to, the second question is a really difficult one. When children present with comorbid conditions that need treatment, can you provide support in these areas outside of the 10-session group, or do you typically have to refer to other professionals? We've had several cases where children have needed additional help. I thinking about the 16-year-old girl, one of the 16-year-old girls who we've worked with, there is a limited amount of help they can get. We try to present them with information and see what is available, but we typically have to refer to other professionals. There are some areas in which I feel we can help. Speech difficulties, I can give tips on how to work with a speech therapist as a child with selective mutism, the parent getting the tips and doing exercises. But that is tricky when there are comorbid conditions. What I feel is that when there are clients with comorbid conditions, when they are helped to talk, they are then able to receive help. And it's more apparent what their difficulties are when it's not kind of wrapped up in this mysterious package of selective mutism. But yeah, there's a lot more work to be done. Shall we just take a few more, and then Junwa, you can, Junwa, would you like to say something about that, about comorbid?
No, I'm good with that one. There's one question said the duration each session is 55 minutes, and yeah. Between is 1 month between. So 10 sessions in the 1 year we finish, right?
Yeah, right. Well, oh, great. You gave that information already. That's fantastic. Any other questions? I think those are the questions that were posted. What I do feel with the working online is that we have, we make real connections online. I think that is a contribution of this COVID, terrible COVID era, is that, and China, I think, is very advanced in that, in communicating online, and it's very accepted. And so I feel that we are able to build therapeutic relationships online, and and feel we really know one another well. Junwa, would you like to add anything?
As everybody can see, Ruth is very calm and talking with a big smile, and I was working with the parents, shaking them. You got to do it. You got to do it.
I try to contain you often, Junwa, often unsuccessfully. So you do know the culture much better than I do, obviously.
I think the teamwork is dream work. It's really describe how we're working here together. When parents call me middle of the night, said my children hit someone in the school, gonna throw him out, and he crying. I mean, should I pick up phone? Yes, but what I'm gonna do? I'm right here online. So only thing I told Mom, get a book out and write the one. Just use 10 minutes, write a letter. My children is in the journey overcome SM. He lack of social skill. He's working on this. He's getting his confidence back. Everything he do not proper. Let us know we're working with him. One letter, and the parents bring children, apologize student, apologize the school. In the week, parents write a letter notes to me. He's new man. That means the children learn the consequence, what he can do, what he can't do. After SM, I would say after that journey, we have a little bit time to catching the social skill. I think a lot of parents think about, yeah, get a champagne, celebrate, but they still have time. Parents have to realize it's not a recession, it's going forward, but you still have to helping him, not to say cut off, okay, now you're on your own. Mm-hmm. They're still holding hand at the time. That's my share.
Yeah. There's one other comment here. Do we work with the child directly? So I said at the end that with teens, they were, a couple of them were English speakers also. So I worked with them, and it was very, very effective. I think primarily it's the age of the child. Once you get over 10, 12-year-olds, then I think it can be very helpful to also work with the child, with the teen, and that together with the parents and the teachers. But most of the work that we do is not seeing the child. But sometimes, as Junhua described, we meet the child at the end, and that's really exciting. But yeah, it's definitely an option to work with a child directly if we feel that is what is required in order to help the child move forward.
Ruth, we do working with the child when we're in the session, children walking in, we include them. And the parents see the magic, the children coming, don't say anything, later smiling to us, later talking to us, and the child don't want to go, want to sit in the whole session. It's really depend the situation, how the child feel. If they're ready, we include them, right?
Right. I see Steve is here, which is the sign of on.
Thanks for a great presentation. As I said in the last presentation from our Hong Kong colleagues, SMA is thrilled that we have more inclusion of people from around the world, as well as reaching more people around the world. For those who are not longtime SMAers, Ruth was kind enough to give our keynote in Philadelphia. I'm guessing it was about 2017, maybe?
It was Chicago. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Seems like yesterday.
2017.
And it's so interesting how much parent work without kids is going on. I want to commend everybody to go to the poster session and look at the work Jackie Pabus did in her dissertation using a parent-only intervention as well. The space program that Ellie Lebowitz has been developing has affected a lot of work people are doing with kids with SM. And so the parent-only approach has a lot of merit, even though we're so used to working with the kids. Anyway, I don't want to overstay our welcome. People have a lunch break. In China, it's now 12:11 in the morning, but I don't think either of you are in China.
Hours ahead.
Yeah. Anyway. Great to see you both, and thank you for your contributions to our conference.
Thank you so much. Great.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Ruth. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.